What's up guys, CardProtagonist here, and today I'll be doing a deck profile on my very own Oddmal deck. So this is not your very ordinary Oddmal deck you see in my previous deck profiles, because this Oddmal deck was inspired by my very own avatar, Alfred. Alright, the reason why I built this deck is because I really love to play Vanguard, and I like to build decks based on my own player preference. To you guys, this deck might not be the best deck, but to me it is my favorite because it is the deck I built on my own. Alright, many of you guys have been asking for this deck profile a really long time, and I decided to put it later just because there was 16G Guardians coming up, and I believe I should do it when the 16G Guardian come out, because obviously I do not want to redo the whole video again when the G Guardians comes out. Yeah, that will be very irritating. So therefore I decided to release it right now. And before that there was also a lot of major tournaments, and I do not want to review my deck list to others. So yeah, this is my own deck profile. So if you guys don't like some cards, you can change it for all I care. So yeah, it's all based on player preference. I may not make the best choice in the deck because I know I'm not the best player as well. So yeah, let's go on the deck profile. Alright, the pros of this deck is it is very bursty while combining the elements of defense, which allows you to draw cards to maintain your field while you can go out on your final turn. So this deck actually performed really well for me. Because, alright, the reason why I don't really see a lot of Oddmal players out there is because Oddmal, to be honest, is it is not one of the best Royal Paladins. We have so many good Royal Paladins such as Ting Blasters, Ting Saber, Sentry Guard Dragon. All of these outshadow Oddmal. However, upon testing and combining with other cards, I find that this deck is really amazing, but you really have to learn how to play it. It took me around a month or two just to get to know this deck better and actually make my favorite deck. Now I can't really play other decks other than Oddmal deck because he's just my favorite deck. Alright, yeah, so the pros of this deck is the perfect balance of defense and offense at the right time. It allows you to go out and finish your opponents, which this deck is amazing at because you can dish out average of 100k during your final turn move, which is what I do most of the time. So my opponent won't dare to give me counter blast sometimes. So yeah, alright, so let's go on deck profile. First we play 4 copies of Oddmal. So yeah, I've got all crazy way and got 4 copies of secret rares. So ability is GB2. While we are at GB2, your front row gains is 5k power, very basic. Not really relevant now since you can strike every day, since you have a lot of G units now. But it's still a very good card if you actually do not have a great trigger strike. Because giving your front row, giving your rear guards additional power is sometimes better than just giving a Vanguard, because in fear of a perfect guard or G Guardian and your whole strategy is ruined. Second ability is whenever it performs strike, so when you strike on a G unit, you may count plus 1. If you do, select up to 2 cards from your hand and superior come to a rear guard circle, and then after that, choose 2 units on your field and it gains us 5k power. So you can, as you guys know, you can choose not to call any units and still gain a 5k power to 2 units on the field. So it's a really good skill because basically it's a count plus 1 to add 10k power on the field. So it's 2 cards off your opponent's hands. It's really good for your final turn push as well. So yeah, gotta play it. 4 copies of Oddmal. Next is 4 copies of Alfred. Alfred the 14, is it off 14? Yeah. Alfred the 14 XIV. He's basically our Legion. He's just there. He's mainly there because Oddmal doesn't really have a very good secondary Oddmal card. Unlike Gear Chronicle, where they have the card to tilt out Chrono Jet if you do not write into one. So for now we're going to use Alfred, and of course Holy Square Dragon is really amazing if you're fighting against Link Joker, which Oddmal deck tends to suffer a lot. I play him because when I play the Link Jokers, I can just write my Alfred and screw them over by unlocking all their stuff. So it is a very good strategy for me, and I kind of like it. I won a couple of games against Link Joker just because I swapped into my Alfred strategy. So Alfred really comes in handy as well. And he has the Legion skill, so if you're really decking out, you can always Legion into your Blaster Blade Seeker or Blaster Blade and refill your deck so that you won't deck out. Okay, Alfred's skill is pretty simple. When this card is in Legion, for each Seeker you control on the field, it gains us 1k power. One for each other Seeker you control. So if you Legion into Blaster Blade Seeker, it is basically a 21k by itself. So yeah, easy. And if you control 5 more rear guards, it gains us 1 crit. So you have full field against 1 crit. So it is good pressure as well if you Legion. Second skill is Activate. E special count blast 2 Seekers. If you do, Superior call 1 Seeker from your deck and call to your Vanguard circle. Not really relevant because I won't be using this. I don't really have much Seeker triggers since it is sort of a G regulation deck for me. Not really, I've actually switched out already to non-G already. Alright, next, let's go on to Grade 2s. The Grade 2s, we play 4 copies of Banon. Banon is a freaking amazing card. Yeah. The reason why is because Vanguard is not a GB, it's one of the non-GB cards in a G era card, which means you'll be able to rush early game. So second turn, if you run into another Grade 2, you can call Vanguard, quickly set up a field, swing for 10. And the best part of all is you can call out Miron, which allows you to +1 and give you the early game hand size you need to defend so that it can last long enough to finish your opponent off with Odd Mouse Transcending the Heavens. So count +1, Superior Call. When this is based on the Vanguard circle, count +1, search your deck for 6k and Superior Call it behind it. You can't call it somewhere else, you can only call it behind, at the same column as this in it. Yeah, play 4. Next is 3 copies of Twin Swords. Twin Swords, very good card, especially for a final turn push. Gives you additional attack and superior call if you need to. The thing great about Royal Paladins, it is a very flexible clan. You do not have a full field, you can always use him to tilt out your units, and if you have a full field, you can always use him to give you additional attack. So that's what makes Royal Paladin very unique to many other clans. And yeah, it is good and bad because relying on Vanguard sometimes will get killed by Link Jokers, but we have Alfred for that, so it's not a problem. Skill, when boosted, you can count +1 if you do Superior Call Grade 2 from your deck and call the Vanguard circle. So yeah, additional attacks. Next, his brother, 3 copies of Suleiman. Suleiman is basically his twin brother in a way. It both works the same way. Ability, continuous, brave. So if you control 3 or less hand size, you control Oddmouth Vanguard against a 3k power. This that skill isn't really relevant because to be honest, brave is a very bad skill. The only thing that makes this deck strong is because Oddmouth itself is just an freaking amazing card. Transcending the Heavens, Oddmouth is an amazing card. Alright, second skill is Rearguard skill. When this card is boosted, it doesn't need to be boosted, you can just solo. So this one makes it very good. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, you can counter +1 and discard 1 card from your hand. If you control Oddmouth Vanguard, you may use the skill. Search your deck for a Grade 2 or less and it gains us 2k power. So yeah. So basically it's a twin sword without needing to boost. So it comes in handy in certain situations. So basically what we do is we call this, call attack, call this, attack, boosted, call this again. You know how it goes. Yep. And finally, 1 copy of Blaster Blade. Because if you don't play 1 copy of Blaster Blade, you're not IG Sando. Just kidding. I only use it because I want Legion once. Even if I don't Legion, it's fine because I'm playing a strike deck. So 1 copy of Blaster Blade. Remember, only 1 Blaster Blade or you're not IG. Lol. Yeah, I have to say that because damn it, everyone's playing blasters every day. It's like, you don't play 4 Blaster Blade, you're an idiot. Now because of Flogger. Alright, let's go on to Grade 1s. 4 copies of Miron, Hidden Sage Miron. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle from your deck, you may soul +1. If you do, you can draw 1 card. Very simple skill. So basically, draw 1 when it's caught. So you combine it with Banon and you gain a +2. Very good card. Give you pluses for days. And unfortunately, it gives you bad columns, but Oddmouth deck will never have bad columns because they fix magic number every day. So yeah. 4 copies of Perfect Guards. This deck tends to eat a lot of Count Blast, so 4 Unflippers are really necessary. If you want to use the Brave one, not really recommended, but if you want, I guess it's a Perfect Guard, it's fine. So yeah, it's all up to you, but I prefer Unflipping. 4 copies of the Strike Helpers. It also searches out for your Oddmouth, which is very important because striking Oddmouth allows you to go for Transcending the Heaven, which is the game maker. 2 copies of Knight of the Wind, I guess. Desert Wind. Knights of Desert Wind. Brave, it gives us 3k power. So it is a 10k beat stick. If you happen to run out of Grade 2 in deck, his second ability is, while it's in the deck, if you have an Oddmouth Vanguard, it gains us 1 grade. So you can call it out with your Twin Swords or Suleiman and swing if you have run out of Grade 2s. Or you could use them to call it as a booster. So it's a very flexible card. I love him a lot. Alright, let us go on to our triggers. Yep, the last time I said Brave used 10 triggers. That was for a deck more brave heavy, but this time the deck isn't more brave heavy, but it's more of an odd mount deck instead because I play Alfred. Yeah. So yeah, for this time I play 8 crits. 4 odd mount crits. When odd mount attacks, when your Vanguard odd mount attacks, you put in soul, gives it 5k power and draw 1 card. Simple. 4 copies of Lion. Lion crits is OP. Because the Lion, it always shows his face and my opponent dies. So that's 8 crits, 4 draws. Draw triggers, definitely I want to play it because this deck, if you can survive, you will win. So survivability is key. 4 copies of heal, best heal trigger. Because it's the only Neko Mimi in the whole Royal Paladin, so play Neko Mimi go. Next is 1 copy of this starter. Very handy card. Alright, the reason why I use him is because the trial deck 1 Count Blast is not really that good, to be honest, in this deck, because you are able to tutor a lot of stuff, so you really want to keep the Count Blast so that you can use for your Transcending the Heavens finisher. So I prefer to use someone that doesn't need Count Blast, and it comes handy because sometimes even before I can burst, I could use him. I'll just call my Perfect Guard, use him, put a soul, add a Perfect Guard back to my hand, so I can gain an additional attack to push a bit, I guess. So very interesting card. Alright, let's go on to the MVP of the deck, which is the 16G units. The cards we've been waiting for. So most of you guys ask, so what I think about 16G units? It's bad because I can't fit in my deck box anymore. Yeah, that's all. There's nothing bad about it. Guys, 16G units is good. I managed to use them all up because I'm me. Alright, first is 4 copies of Aerial Divine Knight, Oddmal. Very powerful Royal Paladin Strike. One of the best Royal Paladin Strikes. Since now they're 16G units, I recommend everyone who plays Royal Paladin get 4 copies. Please get 4. This is too good. Not 2, get 4. This ability is whenever this unit enters the Vanguard circle, so whenever it's tried, you may activate its skill, flip a copy of itself up. If you do, your front row gains a 3k power. That fixes a lot of magic numbers in this deck, so it's very important. So actually, that's not very important. That just fixes the magic number. This is second skill is the important one. If you have 2 or more face-up G units in a G zone, you can superior call 1 Grade 2 from your deck and it gains a 5k power. So that is a great skill. Because for no Count Blast, you'll be able to tutor out 1 unit you need from the deck, which in return will go into many combos just because of how awesome Royal Paladin is. So call 1, they become call 2, yeah. All sorts of combo. Or you could call 1, boost, call 2, call another 1. So yeah, 1 card to fill up the whole field. That's what in the anime they show. So very good card. Definitely get 4 now. Now we must get 4. So I believe the price will spike. I'm sorry guys. Next is 4 copies of Holy Squire Dragon. Awesome, finally can play 4. Back then I was only playing 2 because I didn't have the space. Now I do not need to fear the Omega lock because I can play 4 copies. So I can unlock myself. Holy Squire's skill is when I activate skill once per turn, if you have a heart with Alfred in the name, you may unlock every single rearguard you control. Even if it's in Omega lock, you can unlock it. Please note. And if you do, all your Royal Paladins on the field gains plus 2k power. So yeah, that's not GB3 skill. The GB3 skill is for each unit control, this unit gets a 3k power, so it gains the same blow skill without the crit. So it's great because late game when you GB3, most likely your opponent's gonna be at 4 anyway, he's gonna guard as hell, so the crit doesn't really matter. It's only there to unlock stuff, to be honest. But yeah, it saved me a lot of times. Can't leave him because he is my favorite G unit since my Alfred deck. Alright, next is the boss of the deck. 3 copies of Transcending the Heavens Oddmal. One of my very favorite strides. This guy makes Oddmal work. Oddmal was lackluster, but with him, Oddmal was a beast. His skill is Counter Blast 1, activate skill, Counter Blast 1, and flip. Sorry, if you have and flip a G card face up, so you could flip anything up, including Garblade. So I just play 1 just in case. You can flip a G unit up, and if you control Oddmal Heart, it gains a skill. For each flip up, when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you can superior call Grade 2 from your deck and it gains a 5k power. And the second skill is continuous. For each Aerial Divine Knight face up on your G zone. Your front row gains plus 2k power. So most of the time I'll be using it as first stride, as second stride, and I flip out Oddmile up. So my front row gains was 6k. Then my next stride will be like Oddmile plus 8k, front row plus 8k. That's when my opponent's probably dead. So it's a very, very powerful skill because at the cost of 1 Count Blast, you're gonna give your front row plus 6k, you're gonna call a unit, and you're gonna give another 5k. And calling units is amazing because for each unflipped Count Blast you have, you can do additional attacks. And if you remember the Spike Brothers theory is for each attack you do, the power still stays, so it is worth it for you. So every attack you do in this deck is super devastating instead of just a regular attack. 3 copies. Because, well, some might want to go 4, I don't know, it's up to you. 1 copy of Garblade. When this unit attack hits the Vanguard, you can Superior Crown Grade 2 from your deck. So yeah, mostly there for unflipped fodder. Alright, and finally for G Guardians. One of my favorite G Guardians in the game. 4 copies of Laser Dragon. Yeah. Holy Laser Dragon, is it? Yeah, no idea what's... This ability is when this unit enters the G Guardian, when this unit enters the Guardian Circle, if you control a grade 2 on your field, which is very high most of the time because you have a lot of grade 2s, this unit gains 5k power, so it's a 20k shield at the cost of 1 heal triggers. Amazing for me because I always draw my heal triggers. I don't check them, I draw them because I'm bad. And 1 copy of the Dark Elemental because I'm paranoid about Dimension Police. And this card is amazing against Vermilion. Alright, imagine this. Vermilion attacks, Kaiser Warning or whatever attacks you use. Okay, what her skill is, she has the resist skill, so she can't be guard break. And the second skill is, when this unit enters the Guardian Circle, you may select one of your rear guards and it cannot be retired. It cannot be attacked or retired until end of turn. So your opponent... Okay, imagine Dimension Police like to do the skill where, like to do the trick where it attacks your rear guard, and you can't perfect guard because it's a G perfect guard. You can use her. Your rear guard won't be able to be attacked and die. It won't die. So they actually kind of fucked up themselves. So this is very, very good. And the second skill is Vermilion skill. Vermilion if you use Vermilion Stride, you use Protect Your Side. So let's say you got both. He only be hitting 1 rear guard, which is freaking hilarious. Yeah, because the other rear guard can't be hit and can't die. So yeah, that's personal preference. You can play 4 if you want, but personally, I'll just play 1. And some of you guys can play the Screw as well. Screw is basically discard 1 heal and another card to gain the 25k shield, which is okay. I mean, this deck don't really need, since we already have a very, very good G Guardian. This guy is good. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoy my deck profile on my Oddmile deck. Once again, I want to thank all of you guys for the 14k subs. And yeah, I hope you guys are happy with this deck profile because I'm sorry for the delay since I wanted to do it with G Guardians. So, peace out and love you guys. Have a good day.